I started in the streets and I made it all the way to the stock market. And we're down to the dirty dozen. That's what I like to see. All right. I can't handle all the questions. And I feel obligated to answer them. So I get distracted. All right. We're back to day traders only. No wonder why. I got no sound. No, I have not tried trading Forex. Is that binary? Is that also called binary? I'm so basically I can take my skills and go any which way cuz my technical analysis will apply to any market. I've been studying technical analysis and price action basically for years. So,
Buy on blue, sell on red.
okay, so I got volume. Why isn't it working? Do you trade Forex? I'm in the process of possibly joining another trading group and I'll be providing a service. I'll be teaching beginners and bringing my knowledge and my strategy to that group and seeing a return from that. Like I'll be paid to stream, but at the same time, I'm going to be learning and networking with 30-year veteran millionaire traders who trade Forex, who trade, a broader strategy than me. They have a lot. I have a few different plays that I teach people, some setups that I've been perfecting, but I'm also learning. This takes a lifetime, right? This is not something you're gonna pick up over the next couple months, over the next year. The problem is trading, in particular, appeals to gamblers, to addicts, people who think they're gonna outsmart the market or they found an edge. So that's why statistically 99% of traders lose money. But we got to learn how to control the variables. But I'm looking forward to learning, and I'm in a couple different groups now. I'm networked with other traders already. I'm supposed to be starting one-on-ones with one of the moderators soon. I'm doing so much. I can I get a room tour and layout of your tools? I want to set up like yours. Appreciate you, man. So this is what it all hinges upon, though, is physical fitness and exercise and natural endorphins and dopamine and healthy diet, right? With heavy lifting, your body and your cognitive abilities, your brain, your wit, like you have to. It's not something you punch in and out of. It's like a routine you develop and perfect over time. I'm still in the process of doing it. So whereas before I thought I wanted to live in hotels and travel around the world and trade all around, you need like a consistent. It's first I have to build a routine and so anyway, this was the first computer I bought. I used to trade with just this. First I started with my cell phone. You hear me? And all of the things that I did in the beginning were wrong, and it cost me money in the long run because I built a bunch of bad habits. So I'm trying to teach you guys the right way to start, so you could possibly save yourself 4 years of hard lessons. So this is a computer that I use now only for trading in crypto. I'm not scanning the internet. I'm not emailing. I don't click or do anything on this computer except buy and sell. So that's where my ledger is, like my cold wallet, right? So I use Dash Trader Pro in an offshore account, Thinkorswim or Ledger. That's the only thing I'm doing on this computer. So that way, if I get a phishing scam or a computer virus, it'll happen on this computer because this computer is where I run my stream, my scanners, thinkorswim. This is how I'm doing research. This is where I'm emailing and photography work, social media, all done on this computer. So that's that's it. And this is just my trade idea scanner. This will call out any stock that's ripping up right now. So it looks like right now it's calling out SNTI. So it popped up and came right back down. So um good morning, Ash. So let me put the phone down. But yeah, this is the war room. You hear me? This is the room I get money in, whether it's there or here. I got it. I'm slowly leaning back into it. I ripped into a routine the other day, and I tried to work out twice since then. I was just so sore from just doing push-ups and jump burpees that one day that I gotta start. Yeah, probably a year and a half since I've really been working out consistently, so I gotta ease back into it. I'll be doing mostly calisthenics for the first couple months until I start lifting heavy and doing compound moves again. I'm old now. I learned the hard way. Before I actually tore the bicep off my elbow doing deadlifts in the gym, and ever since then I haven't really got back into it consistently. I had to have surgery. It was a whole thing. So then I became a carpenter for 2 years, and all I did was work out all freaking day, every day, outside. So all I did was lift heavy shit. All right. It's definitely appreciate you. Good morning, though. I'm here every day, guys. I call. We were the Dirty Dozen, but now there's 14 of us, so we'll have to come up with a new name. But every day I would say at least whoever's in here this morning and more. It's still pretty early. I often don't start until at least 6:30 now. But the market was moving early the last couple days, and it started again this morning. So night Nancy Victor, Nancy India, NVNI popped up crazy in after hours yesterday, like 800%. It's been consolidating and coming down. Um, Reclaimed VWAP a few minutes ago. I just missed that play, but definitely moving. PBM, same thing, popped up early. It's now consolidating. HUMA in a downtrend, but still got a lot of volume this morning. Still up 40%. I caught a trade on it early as it broke over 5, and then I scalped it from 580 to 6. um, Still early. I use scanners now, basically. Say you put 12,000 on Bitcoin and it crashes by 12,000. Will you lose the money? Yes. You won't lose all 12,000, but if Bitcoin goes down $12,000, whatever percentage that is, you'll lose. So I wouldn't suggest ever putting all your money in on the same day or take it out on the same day. Start learning, dollar cost averaging, market cycles. But basically, it comes down to this: quantitative easing or tightening. So it pretty soon they're gonna start quantitative easing. I can't say where the Federal Reserve is gonna start purchasing assets, and that's when the markets are gonna go fucking parabolic and bananas. But we gotta correct first and come down, and it's gotta seem like it's the end and this and that. So we need to make a clean exit to January 20th without anything crazy going on. I mean, I don't know there's a lot going on in our government right now, and it's always the case between election cycles. Like they all talk a good game, but I think this time in particular, there's a lot of disruption coming to the way our country operates. It's gonna get scary and seem grim and all kinds of things will appear a certain way, but I think on the other end, this is what we're looking for. They're gonna fire all the fucking lazy scan. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to make predictions. Did I sell? I scalped NUKK the first day it popped up. and I haven't taken a trade on it since. But and this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. If you're swing trading, if you're holding things, you're gonna build habits that may make you a ton of money right now, and then all of a sudden it'll start costing you money. So even now, the SPY corrected, right? The Dow Jones Industrial Average, I think, just printed like 10 red days in a row, maybe 9 red days in a row. The SPY just sold off ugly, you know. So we'll see. We may be heading into a small downtrend until the next FOMC meeting. Um, I don't know what your entry was on NUKK, but yesterday it made a new high early in the pre-market, failed to make a new high when the market opened. I don't, it could still squeeze technically, but more likely than not, it'll come back down to reality. Stock was $1 stock 2 days ago. It went all the way up to 80. It's not a sustainable move. This is not investing in healthy. This is a short squeeze that may or may not be done. You're welcome. I would suggest, if you're up, one thing you could do too, you could sell half and hold on to half with a stop loss set, take some profit, but hold on to a couple shares in case it does come back up. Not financial advice. Make your own decision. Do your own research. I'm just giving you ideas. I don't know what you're looking for, how many shares you have. They have a saying though, greedy pigs, and I can't say the ending because
YSC,
TikTok doesn't like when I say it.
PLL,
It's 5:55. Looks like I got a message on Discord. I don't know. Am I on YouTube right now? Yes. Nobody's in there.
NYSC,
That's okay. Yeah, the option is there. I'm looking at MYSZ. No headline, super low float. This was also a mover yesterday. Just made a new high this morning. Not too much volume yet though, but we'll see. It's got 200,000 shares. It's working on $2 right now. Typically, I like to buy right here from 180 to 2, 280 to 3. Sub $2 stocks, it's gotta prove to me that it can take $2 out first, which it just did, right up to 199.
NYSC,
We might got room all the way to 256 is resistance on the daily. So I'm gonna see how it takes this level out. I may be looking from 280 to $3 here. I would like there to be a headline, which there's not. But this looks like continuation from yesterday, and it just made a new high. So now I'm interested. So if it
EVC.
can get over its 200-day moving average at 256, I'm gonna be looking how it handles the. How old am I? I'm almost 40. I'll be. If you were born in 1985, you will be 40 this year.
Following the disappointing results.
Sorry, that's a little loud.
That's Winning Yankee. Shares up $65 now in the pre-market for Lilly. Shares of Novo
comes
Nordisk
NYSZ
now
again.
dropping to $79.38.
NYSC, CNTM.
Following their
NYSC.
drug results coming in weaker than expected.
It's got to get over 250.
That's the member Victor Oscar.
Take note of all these topping tails.
77.89 now.
When did I first start trading? In 2020.
Air. NYSC.
NYSZ, my size, spiking now,
PSQH.
going higher on heavier volume, up $1.15 at $2.50 at the high. NYSZ.
This is why I wait for confirmation. So it turned into a topping tail so far. It's still a battle going on here. 250 still resistance. But it may hold VWAP here. Let's see. I'm gonna stick with it for a minute until something else better pops up.
JOBY.
But take note, NYSC, there's a lot of volume coming in. There's also two topping tails on the 5-minute chart. So it's right at its 200-day moving average, which is technically 256. That's major resistance. So I use different indicators for my intraday, for my daily, but look, right? It was unable to hold it once already, and it's been coming down. Now, right? It's coming up to test it again. 256. It may become support, but until it proves that it's support, it's resistance, right? So even here, it printed it above it. Well, it was a different price back then, but you understand. This all I need to know and what this indicator tells me is if it's below it, this is a downtrending stock. If it's above it, it's an uptrending stock. So it's point blank period. It's not rocket science. I mean, it's not exact science. But once it becomes support, the stocks usually pull away. People are waiting for that confirmation, right? It printed a body above it, right? And then it just continued higher. So is the stock above its 200-day moving average or below it? That's all I want to know.
RGTI.
And then from there, I'm looking for gaps in the daily chart.
RGTI.
We'll talk about that.
RGTI.
There's just certain patterns and certain charts that
RGTI.
my brain has learned to dial in on. But it all comes down to float, news catalyst. You're looking for stocks with very low floats because it comes down to supply and demand. If the stock only has 1 million shares available, but already 10 million shares of volume in the pre-market, that means every single share available has traded hands 10 times. That's what causes it to go up, is the inequality between the supply and demand. There's a lot more demand than there is supply. So when was my turning point? I wound up homeless, in my car, without a job.
RGTI.
Jay!
ANBS.
I wasn't able to identify that. I started trading at the height of a bull run, and I was gambling and getting lucky.
RGTI.
But as soon as trading became my only revenue stream, and it was all of a sudden real, like I was in the beginning, I was making $2,000 a week between two full-time jobs, and I started making more money trading every day than I would sometimes make all week at work. So it was feeding my ego. I quit one job. You know, I was not able to identify a lot of my own character traits yet. Still early in recovery at that time.
RGTI. RGTI.
Getting better. But although I never walked away from day trading, I was not I lost the privilege to actively trade in a direct access platform for over 2 years. So I tried every other way on Thinkorswim, options, this, that. I'm a scalp trader and I need a direct access platform. That's it. So, but so now, as long as trading, so right now even I work a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. This 4 years ago, I built my whole life around trading. I worked nights, I worked the service industry. I did whatever I had to do so that I could watch these charts from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. every single day for over 2 years. When I tell you, I didn't move from this chair, right? And now, this time, instead, I got a job that was just closest to home. I cut all my bills. This is my break even now. So I got a job right next to I work a 9 to 5. As long as I have this covered without day trading, that gives me the ability to trade my written strategy. If I'm depending on this money to survive and pay my bills, all of a sudden I start hesitating. I start doubting myself. I start gambling or holding on to things wrong. I'm emotional. I no longer have an emotional attachment to this money. This money is just a tool that I use to make money. Where I choose to invest my time and spend my days and my energy doing is everything. And peace of mind is everything. The money will come. It already is.
RGTI.
So we held 250.
RGTI.
That's it. That fucking quit.
RGTI. NYSE.
I'm gonna take that trade 9 out of 10 times from that 80 cent level to the whole dollar. I'm gonna take it every time. You hear me? So I told you as soon as it held 256, right? As soon as it got over it, hold on, I got the wrong chart up. But NYSC.
RGTI.
I told you 256 was resistance. As soon as it popped over that, look, it printed this big body candle through it, came down, it held it, right? That's why this bottoming tail, my eyes can identify these things, and this is a 5-minute chart, but I'm pretty much at this point, I'm not looking at candlesticks anymore. I'm watching numbers. So as soon as I see 57, 58, 70, 70, right up through 80 cents, by the time I got filled, it was 85. And as it's crossing the whole dollar, I'm taking profit. And I can scale out when the market's open, but I can't use stop losses and certain risk controls during market hours. But when I tell you, I'm going to take this trade 9 out of 10 times. So, and as soon as it prints that whole dollar, I'm taking profit. So 20 cents with 1,000 shares is $200. So yesterday I was 4 for 4. Today I'm 2 for 2 so far. Base hits. My problem 4 years ago was I was trying to get rich on every trade. I was trying to make 100 grand on every trade. And this is why holding lotto shares will sometimes be super beneficial because you're risking the same amount on the front end, but now you've only sold half your shares, you're holding half, you sell half again. You can let that $200 profit turn into an $800 profit, not having to risk any additional money. But during the pre-market, and because there I'm teaching, I'm talking, I'm not all the way dialed in as good as I can be. Um, so I'm leaving money on the table, specifically in the pre-market, because I'm unable to use stop losses. When the market is open, the first piece of information I have to enter before I can buy, I need to know how much money I can lose. I have to set a stop loss in order for my buy button to activate, but I can't trade that style in the pre-market. I'm more or less just scalping that specific price level, that one setup every time over and over and over, because it'll pay me 9 out of 10 times. So in the beginning, you should be risking specific dollar amount. You risk $5 to make 10, but you have to make sure you can't get out at 6 or 7 or 10. Like, you need to have a 1 to 2 profit to loss ratio minimum. And if you can do that successfully, you will only need to be right 50% of the time in order to be profitable. If you can trade a 1 to 3 profit to loss ratio, you're risking 100 to make 300. You only need to be right 33% of the time to be profitable. Because what it took me years and years to admit to myself as a narcissist, somebody who spent my life in trauma and addiction, I'm never wrong, right? So I could never admit when I was wrong. And in the beginning, my losers were always bigger than my winners, right? Because I had built these bad habits, gambling, not listening, and because of the PDT rule, and you only get 1 trade or 3 trade, so I'm holding shit all day, or I just was gambling and I was getting lucky. Any news? No, there was no news, but that the volume in it itself right now was enough of a catalyst for me. That old adage, buy the rumor, sell the news. So in the pre-market, I can spot high relative volume and use that as it's the catalyst. So that specific price level at 256, when certain things line up. And I told you before, I called that the whole way out. It's not like even to the point where, because I was talking so much, I almost missed it, but I hopped right on it. But it comes down to patience. You have to sit with it long enough, which I have ADHD. It's a gift and a curse. I'm learning how to manage it. I'm learning how to develop all my own routines, which I'm sharing with you guys. You guys see me go through the same motions, the same stuff every day. Good morning, Allie. T, good morning. My crew, you guys are in here every day, learning. A lot of the people in here are more veteran than I. They make better decisions some days than me. We all have our good days and our bad days. But the goal is to be able to control as many variables as you can. You cannot control if the stock's going to go up or down. The only thing you can control is your entry and your exit. That's it. So it looks like this stock NYZS. It's like a tongue twister saying this one. It's going to come down and test VWAP. It looks like. I'm not going to create a bias and just stick with just this one. I got it. I got the trade I was looking for. Now I'm going to let the scanners and continue hunting. It's still early. But the beautiful, this is a stock that has been ripping lately and corrected yesterday. It looks like last couple days. The Qs, QUBT, QBTS. I don't like trading these for some reason. Like my I don't like this chart. RGTI. But here, pull up. This is a good teaching opportunity. 200-day moving average, right? It's either above it or below it. But look, it popped above it. It had a battle, right? But as soon as it proved that it could hold it, it tested it quite a bit. as soon as it started proving that it could hold it, it started pulling away and it getting bigger. You know, now nothing goes straight up though. Now it's got to correct. We'll see if it gaps up and continues higher, if it goes sideways before it breaks out. But this is this pattern you're gonna see on a lot of stocks. This is RGTI, QUBT. Once it gets above that line, so that's why I use this indicator on my daily chart. And the difference between a daily chart and an intraday chart, these charts don't account for or show any of the pre-market or after hours price action. So that's why it's not moving right now. It's not showing. It's only when the market's open. This is the daily chart. Every candle represents the entire day's movement, but market hours. That's why you don't see any of the gray down on this chart, because the gray is either after hours or pre-market.
ALCN, 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 CLLS, ALCN, ALCN,
ALZN, Alzaman Neuro, spiking here $1.61. Alpha Lima Zulu November.
Here we go. No headline though. Why are you calling it out, Charlie?
ALCN,
PTIX,
ALCN,
Protogenic
ALCN,
Therapeutics, filed for offering of up to
Below the
5.84
200.
million shares of stock by
418.
shareholders. That's Papa Tango India
This
X-ray,
might have room up to
PTIX.
$4 before it hits major resistance on the
ALCN.
daily. This thing popped up back in August, all the way up to 15. It's been in a downtrend. So either this is coming off of lows around the dollar, or I don't know. We'll see.
PTIX shares down 6 cents at 59.
This thing's known to run.
cents.
So look, if you
PTIX.
pull up, this is what. Sorry if I don't know what I just pressed there. To ignore it if I invited you or something. But look, so like, notice how this day, look at this move, right? But in relation, you don't even see any other. This is the volume, right? And this is why I tell you high relative volume. This is specifically what we're looking for is this to be as high as possible on what we're trading, and what it looks like on a chart is this. So that, and look what happened. You know, so this is why, and the rest of the days is irrelevant, but you're looking for days specifically with high relative volume, and these prices are relevant, whatever the tops of these candles and stuff. But when I'm zooming out or on other stocks, when I'm marking price levels, this is one thing my eyes scanning for. I'm looking for days that had high volume. Otherwise, it's just nothing else. This was the only day this stock traded, had a headline, or was like relevant, and then it was just bag holders, right? No volume, no, and it was unable to hold this 200-day moving average. Look where that tail in that body is. It's not random, right? So, and if you know how to read candlesticks, and then if you look at that, so this was a battle that had, and now it's under it. So this morning it's down at $1. It might have room all the way up till it at least taps the bottom of this, and then it's going to have, prove whether it's support or resistance. But for now, it's a downtrending stock, unable to hold its 200-day moving average. But it's known to pop up. Nothing else quite on my radar yet. And this is another reason I love this platform, because this list auto populates. So when I wake up in the morning, this is the leading stock in the NASDAQ right now. This is the leading stock in the, whatever this one is, I forget the but so, and it auto populates. This is the most active stock. This stock has the most volume in the market right now. So
UPWK.
this is a scanner built right into this platform. Otherwise, I got the trade ideas scanner going, which is this one, and then the other one that you hear the guy talking, that's a third scanner from it's called Benzinga Pro Squawk. So I got 2 green trades this morning. On HUMA and MYSZ. A couple $100, nothing crazy. I'm over my daily goal though. Excuse me. I gotta work at 9 a.m. today. So I gotta work at 9 a.m. today. But it's Friday. I think I might have. I don't actually know. He changed it. I do got my boss gave me a Christmas card yesterday, and I got the biggest Christmas bonus I've ever gotten in life up to this point. So thank you. God is good. Like, when I tell you, sometimes when you like, and this I want to take this opportunity, don't stress about shit that is out of your control, like worried about tomorrow or today. Just have a belief that it'll work itself out, and it will every time. I promise you, I try as hard as I can not to even let negative thoughts in my. It's a challenge. I'm not winning yet, but the better I can control my emotions and not worry about shit until like it's time to worry about it. By the time I get time to worry about it, it had already worked itself out. So, but I needed that. I needed a couple extra dollars this week. So, thank you, Jesus. And I don't have to depend on it from trading, right? So, that's like my long-term active savings account that we're going to buy a house and purchase security with and build a business and pay off debt. You know? So, I punch a clock to cover my bills and to buy groceries, right? But I invest and spend my time in my future. So, crypto, pretty soon, probably January looks like now, or whenever the next FOMC meeting, when they announce they're gonna practice quantitative easing.
My science, like now $4.02. Michael Yankee Sandy Zulu.
Now up 200%. Those lotto shares, man. Pretty soon I'll be able to trade the whole market, though. As soon as I can make $500 a week from streaming, I'll be trading full time. And thanks to somebody in our community, I may have found a way to do just that. So, shout out to you guys. Do I like QUBT? It depends which way the SPY goes. If the SPY goes up, then yes. If the SPY goes down, then no. I think that trend, that little headline, that's the market trend right now. Is anything, what is it? Quantum computing. So probably not. In another year or two, it might be a $200-300 stock, but nothing goes straight up. And I don't know which way the markets want to head right now after this meeting on Wednesday. So look at crypto, look at the SPY, look at the Dow Industrial Jones. I'm not trying to outsmart the market or control the market or predict it. I'm just trying to roll with it. And I'm a long bias trader. So I'm trying to find elevators on their way up. That's the cool thing about this strategy. It doesn't matter what the market's doing. The whole market, we could be in disaster. Everything, oh my God, it's the end of everything. But like one company will pop up on here like, well, we just cured cancer. And all of a sudden, because it's the only thing running, like that thing will be it. There will be a play every day because every day a company's going to solve a problem or cure a disease or create something that doesn't exist to make our lives better and easier. Trade has been around a lot longer than electricity. But currency has always been fiat. The only thing you have that's valuable, that's real, is worth anything, is your health. Health equals wealth. So start being conscious of what you're putting into your body and on your body. Because it's either an asset or a liability. It's either giving you minerals and nutrients and energy, or your body has to dispense energy in order to remove it. So It's not financial advice, not medical advice. Do your own research. You're allowed to partake and enjoy things, but your body also requires minimum amounts of minerals and nutrients and certain other things to run optimally. They are directly related to your moods, your energy, and your health. It is my belief that 90% of illnesses stem from deficiencies in our diet. Again, this is my personal opinion. Do your own research. Thanks, Sal. We will get there. Look at Peanut, the squirm on base up 2,000%. Yeah, we missed Peanuts. I missed Peanut by a couple months there. I missed quite a few memes, but I promise you, I didn't miss them all. So stand by for that. Everything's gonna print at one point. There's gonna be about 5 to 10 billion. No, I'm sorry, $5 to 10 trillion that floods into the crypto space. If not, if not on a daily, Swift settles $5 trillion a day. So I don't know what that means for these new instant settlement technologies that are in the process of being adopted. We're heading into a quantum financial system for sure. For sure. Swift, you're out of here. Or as Trump would say, you're fired.
NYSC.
MYSG $4.25 now, continuing to move here. $2.90. Michael Yankee Sandy Zulu.
That was a nice ABCD on the 1 minute there.
Benzinger market update, S&P futures down
Another bull flag on the 5 minute chart.
47.25. The Dow futures down 202.
That's
Nasdaq
currently
down
consolidating.
282.25.
So the next 5 minute candle to
Crude is
make a
down
new
80
high.
cents at $68.58.
I think it's got to come back down to $3 first.
$3.67.
I'm assuming because of the time of day, something else is going to pop up now.
Bitcoin futures down 28.35.
Yeah, I'm not worried about. I appreciate your. I'm gonna screenshot this and look at this because somebody offered me Rismus that I didn't take seriously and missed by a week. So I will. Oh shit, hit the wrong button. So I'll definitely check it out. I appreciate you. I'm making actual money right now. I don't need to gamble on meme coins. So, but I do appreciate your intention, and if it looks good, maybe I'll throw $10 in. I got a Phantom wallet. I suggest to you to go on Instagram, to go on X, and look up Memes After Dark. MAD, M-A-D. Hasn't pumped yet. Go check it out. Huge. It's a fun ass coin, and it's got a huge community. Go check them out. MAD, MAD, Memes After Dark. I'm in Rismus and Purple Peppy also because they're community takeovers. Do your own research. But thank you for your advice. You're welcome. But yeah, the reason why I said go to Instagram and this for because go on Dex and look up Mad, but they got a TikTok too with videos with millions of views. They're on TikTok too. I think it's gonna be the one. Truly. I'm hoping. I got 1 million of them. And I bought the dip on Rismus because just like you just offered to me, somebody popped in here one morning and was like, yo, go buy Rismus, go buy Rismus. And I was like, get out of here, whatever, man. And I looked at it later that week and I was like, and I put it back on the shelf and I went with Purple Peppy. And then I checked the next week when I put $20 in again and it had went up over 1,000,000% that week. $20 would have been $1 million in profit. So I bought the dip, and I was like, now I listen to people when they come in here. So thank you. But had I had KuCoin when that whole fiasco happened with Peanut the Squirrel, like the TikToker, I would have known to buy. I would have bought the meme coin. So But I didn't have KuCoin, and I didn't know how to use hot wallets back then. I didn't want to get involved with Meta because I didn't know how to protect myself. But now that I have an air gap computer that I only use for crypto, I felt comfortable getting a hot wallet. Let me turn that down. R6 Daddy. I used to want a street bike, but now I know myself enough. It's a good thing I never got one because I wouldn't have made it through my 20s or my 30s if had I gotten one. I barely made it through with a WRX because I couldn't control my impulses. So I'm not allowed to have a toy like that until I can afford to buy myself out of trouble. But oh, no street bikes. I need 4 wheels. Even since one of my best friends when I was a kid, his name was Mark Rio, and he's the one who got me into cars. You know, he had an Eclipse, and then he got an all-wheel drive Eagle Talon, and the first gen and the second gen. Like when I tell you, that's all we used to do is party and drive around and go race, and you know, it was brings me back. Anytime I hear a turbo with like a certain blow-off valve, and it goes, like, he told me back in the day, all you gotta do is put a washer in your blow-off valve to get it to make this sound. But I think he comes out of me when I'm driving sometimes, like his spirit, because he used to scare the shit out of me when he drove, like, and the things we survived and made it through, like I now find myself doing, or found myself, you know. Just like when you have that split second decision, like where you're supposed to let go, like most people will just, they're too afraid, or they're like, eh. Like every time I'm like, shit, let's see, and I go for it, and it's a problem. So it is a problem. Once I see that line, I get that tunnel vision. It's forget about it. Nothing else exists. I'm hitting that line, and it was probably my single greatest joy in life, is driving like an absolute animal. It's the only way I could turn off all the other bullshit going on in my head.
1 million shares by selling shareholders.
It's meditation for me.
RSLS.
Day trading, I'm starting to be able to get in that flow state with day trading too, but it's harder to shut everything else off. But once my adrenaline kicks in, forget it. The world, you guys, everything falls away, and it's like time slows down, and I just see shit. The same way I used to see the line when I would downshift, and like now I see it with stocks too. It's the same thing, but it's just harder to snap into that state
73.76 following their disappointing
long enough.
weight loss results.
Because I'll see a squirrel, squirrel, or I'll see a message, or my dog, or something will pop in my head to distract me. I considered Ritalin and the traditional treatments. I was advised against it by somebody whose opinion I trust, and I thought about it. I'm like, you're right. That's a bad idea. A drug's a drug. But I'm finding streaming helps, narrating constantly, and it keeps me engaged along, because my eyes are doing something different than my, I don't know how to explain it, but MVNI is coming back up to test VWAP. MVNI. Envy. Nancy Victor Nancy India. Yesterday's runner, I think. Yes. And it popped up heavy in after hours, and it made a new high this morning in pre-market. So that's right. So hold on, did it hold yesterday's high? And it did. So this is setting up the same way NUKK did. Look, it's reclaiming VWAP right now.
Where does
Hold up.
But Nova Nordisk spokesperson said full
I gotta let it
accuracy
print.
results
I'm
will
not
be
gonna chase this
presented
one. I
at
want to show you
Congress
guys
next
this.
year.
This was a runner yesterday,
Says
right?
regulatory submission
Actually, it
of
looks like it's been
Agrosema
going for a
is
couple
expected
days
till
too,
the
just
end of
like NUKK. But
2025,
look,
says we're encouraged by
this was its high,
Agrosema's profile,
which then
QMMS,
became
to be safe,
support
well
the next
tolerated,
day,
and
right?
broadly similar
Boom, we
to
could draw a
other
line there. Made a new high,
GLP-1s.
right?
Said,
Then that market
Dow
close,
permitted dose
it went up,
reductions,
came
statistically
down, and
significant
tested
results
it
were
there. It
achieved, even
held
though
double
57%
bottom
of
now
patients on
at yesterday's
Agrosema
high.
reached the highest dose.
Okay, kind of close,
Shares
right? Fell a little bit underneath
continuing
it
to
technically, but
rebound.
what was once resistance now this morning looks like support, right? Made a new high, tested that. Now it's making higher lows. So it's probably not gonna go up yet, right? It's gonna make a higher low, then it's gonna get tighter and tighter and tighter. Eventually, it's gonna pop up again. So, or it might go down. We don't know yet, but we're watching it. So far, it's looking good. It's setting up nice. I like the way this chart is setting up. So, unable to hold VWAP still. I suspect it's still gonna go sideways a little bit before it tests its highs. But so far, it's checked off what I wanted to check off for a continuation. You seem. Thank you. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you. Wish me luck. I'm gonna try to grow our community through creating synergy with another trading group, and I'll be doing the same thing I'm doing right now. But I think instead of I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I gotta go do my research first because this was recommended by one of you guys. This other group, they're looking to fill a position that they have open. They're looking for a moderator, and I started looking into it, but I gotta make sure that some values align and energy matches up, because I'm not gonna just say and do anything if it's not actually profitable or helping you, or I'm not in the business. He sells a trading community, so I don't. We'll see. Trying to build my own too, but I don't want to charge you guys for it. So if I can supplement my income by doing what I'm already doing, it's only going to benefit all of us. So VWAP held. There's 570. Volume coming in 71, 72, 75. Where's the RSI? I gotta back up for a sec. NVNI. Good enough for me this morning. Base hits. Sometimes waiting for that extra 6 cents for the whole dollar will cost me, but I'm just gonna keep grabbing my money and running with it today. But it's most likely gonna hit 6 here and keep going. So I'm just not being greedy this morning. Again, 9 out of 10 times that entry. Once I see 80 print, I'm usually getting filled around there. But that's the way it works. And I've set hotkeys up specifically to scalp the pre-market with, where I'm buying at the ask, or I'm selling on the ask.
I see you.
And what did we do? We waited for the VWAP reclaim. And how do I tell you guys, because I used to just hop on like, oh, it reclaimed VWAP. Like, it hasn't. It's testing it. Once it prints the body over it, right? It held VWAP. Now I'm just watching the price action because it proved to me it can hold VWAP. It's at least going up for this next couple minutes. and I'm looking for that specific price level. 9 out of 10 times, it'll pay me. NVNI, that was that one. But there's a couple things moving. And what did I say? What was I looking for? Look, it popped up yesterday. Like this was the one that went up. Then this morning made a new high, which is what I'm seeing. What I want to see for a continuation, right? It's coming down this way, but it's also coming up this way. It's getting tighter. It's making higher lows. So, but I'll take this trade, 5 times on the same stock because this V, it's called the VWAP reclaim. You don't need it to keep going higher and higher. You're just looking for either I'll take my entry for this break here. If there's enough room, sometimes like however many candles in a row down, right now it's going sideways. The first candle to make a new high as my entry, if there's enough room between that entry and at least the VWAP test. I don't expect it to be able to get above and keep going, but just like when I see 380 print, I expect it to at least test that whole dollar level. The same is true for VWAP. I don't always expect it to be able to get above it and keep going, but I'll expect it to at least test that bottom of it. So you can safely scalp within ranges and by marking support and resistance. And I don't know if that helps or not. I'm trying. Get better. What ticker are you looking at? So, 7 a.m. Are you leaving? Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
You gonna go to Subaru?
Yeah.
Are you?
Why, you want to back my car out real quick so I don't bottom out on the curb?
Okay.
Because I'm behind you. Just put it right on the street.
You want me to start your car?
Just put it right on the street. I did that the other day and I bottomed out really bad.
ALLK.
I need the oil change.
CNTM.
Did you see the technique?
No.
No. Took me a second. I almost forgot how to turn your damn heat on. I was like, oh.
It's kind of scary coming off from right there.
One giant screen
I
in there.
bottomed out so bad I had to get out and look at my fucking look at my car.
Yeah, it's cold out. You might want to let it warm up a minute. I turned your heated seats and your heat all the way up. Oh. You want that perfume, or would you rather have your subscription back for your auto start?
No, dude, I don't want. I shouldn't have to pay for auto start on a $40,000 car. So.
Yeah, well, if you
No,
get a
I don't
BMW,
want
they
it.
make you charge you a subscription for your heated seats now. It's crazy.
No, yeah.
But
no,
it's only because they got to use a satellite.
don't matter.
But if you want to start your car with your phone,
I don't.
okay.
I'm not paying for no.
I was gonna pay for it for a year. That's what I'm
No,
saying.
That's okay.
Okay.
I only need it for 3 months out of the year.
That's not true because I remember in the summer you start doing it to put the AC on. So
So that's
stop bluffing. No, I love you. Go get your oil changed. Are you feeling better? Like you're gonna work today, or
no, I don't know.
we'll see how it goes. We'll play it by ear.
I'm already on unemployment. I just don't really
INVZ.
I gotta be in at 9 a.m. Oh yeah, I forgot you got laid off.
He's paying me cash for this week anyway, and honestly, it's
All right, stop talking.
I don't care that much. I'm gonna just be honest about it.
Perfect. Perfect.
Sheesh. All right. It's not even 7 yet. We're already. I woke up ready today. I got. You know what it is? I went to bed on time yesterday. It makes all the difference. All right, baby, drive safe. Somebody asked me yesterday if I had a daily checklist. I call them rules, but it is the same thing. Like if I don't go to sleep on time, if I don't lift weights in the morning, I'm not allowed to take a trade. But I've been breaking rules, so you'll see a difference once I start. I have been working out. I started kind of, could call it that. I did like one routine, and ever since then I couldn't do any I've been so sore. I tried doing push-ups yesterday and the day before again, and I was like, nope, not yet. It's because of that fucking ab wheel too. I'm telling you, when you start with the ab wheel, do just one repetition. I promise you. The first time you do this thing, don't try to be a hero, because the next day from one rep, you're gonna tear, because especially that very first one, you're gonna tear muscles you didn't even know you had. I promise you. So, but that's the most effective core routine that you can do and see the best results from is the ab wheel and pull-ups and push-ups. Because until you build good core muscles and good muscle movement and like good certain, like you shouldn't be worried about lifting heavy weight or benching or squatting. Like you got to build your core muscles. And especially if you've never been into fitness or my whole life, I didn't like to be out of breath. I was lazy. I never did I didn't know how to work out or do a push-up. Not until prison. I learned a lot of shit in prison. So I became a man in prison. Before prison, up until I was 30 years old, I was a scared, lost little boy trying to fill the void of losing his mother too. Like I was a very codependent, like I was searching for that comfort and that, I always had a girlfriend that I was living with on her plan, on her phone. Like a million women tried to save me along the way.
Merck said Lenovo eligible for up to $2.7 billion
and families and
that's
I was
MRK.
I was a narcissist. I was suffering from narcissism. Stemmed from trauma from my parents. So narcissism is caused by our parents, by the way. So if you know any narcissist that you may judge or have a certain, even Trump's a perfect example. He's a narcissist. It's caused by our parents. So specifically, like the way my mom used to use us as leverage for money from our father, or we constantly had to choose sides. When there's trauma at home, it affects your kids. So that's why I don't have kids. I broke the cycle. Matter of fact, my brother and my sister and myself, none of us have kids. My sister's 8 years older than me. No, my sister's 6 years older than me, and I'm 8 years older than my little brother. And none of us have kids. And my brother and my sister are both married. My sister's been married to her high school sweetheart for 30 years. So they've been together since their freshman year in high school. I don't know what that says. But trauma, fucking trauma. We all suffer trauma. I don't care what you've been through or what I've been through. We all been through it. And we're going through it right the fuck now. Wondering how we're going to buy groceries this weekend. Stressing about some Christmas gifts we still haven't gotten. Thanks again, boss. I don't know where I would be without all my bosses. I'm grateful to still be punching the clock. I'm not ready to be the boss yet. Thought I was, you know what I'm saying? Nope. I still need help. I don't know, a couple clicks, couple crypto points away from maybe never looking back, you know. Once I get a certain dollar amount, I won't have to work anymore, you know. I'll have, but until my bills are paid for 10 years or something, you know, I'm grateful I have a good job that's close to home, that's flexible enough that some days I don't have to be until 11. Some days I have off. Some days he sends me home early. It's a small operation. I'm the only employee. It's there's 3 of us. So I love it. And it's 2 minutes from my house. And I plan to work there. Let's say I make $10 million today from crypto. I'm still going to go to work. I'm still going to finish my obligations. And on the contrary, I'm going to end up being his biggest client that he's ever had. Because this guy designs logos and we manufacture signs and like when I tell you he's the missing link to the next step in our business, my girl's business and my business. I've been trying to find somebody to design a logo for us for years, and it keeps falling short. And that's what this guy does. He's an artist, and his wife is an artist, and what they can do on the computer is magic. And then they got all kinds of printers and millions of dollars worth of shit to put it on anything from stickers to like when I tell you we build and manufacture just about any kind of sign from wood to metal to schools to hotels to businesses. Like when I pretty much every day that I've worked I've done something new, and it's fucking awesome. That's the kind of challenge I love. But and he pays me a good amount, and bro just gave me the big. I'm 40 years old and I've had some decent jobs. I made 6 figures. You know, this is the biggest Christmas bonus I've ever gotten. So, thanks again, boss. I love you. They gave it to me as I walked out the door yesterday, and I was like, oh, thanks. I didn't quite know what it was, and I got in my car, and it was a card and a check. And I ran back inside, and I was like, I want to give you a hug, but I'm afraid you're gonna hit me. So, I was like, thank you. This was unexpected. God bless. Merry Christmas. Now I'm like, what do I get them? You know, so it was unexpected. I'm sort of new, you know. I've only been there a couple months, so I wasn't expecting anything. And but it's funny because I've been trying to get a couple different things for him from the TikTok shop. Thanks, T. Thanks for being here. I'm grateful that you guys come hang out while you get ready for work too. This is what I do before I go to work. Try to make a couple dollars. I made $315 this morning so far. So I'm 3 for yesterday I was 4 for either 3 for 3 or 4 for 4. I gotta start using trade. Let me write this down. This is where I fall short. And then unless I write it down, it'll be gone forever. Finding out. You have a great, beautiful, happy Friday. We got 10 minutes till 7 a.m. Say you're just sitting down now, right? Every day, the first thing I do is like, all right, cool. How many, before I had scanners, before I had the stuff I have now, like I want to know how many stocks are up 100% in the pre-market. That's one thing I ask myself. At least one. So we got two 90% and one up 153. So that's a good sign. That's some mornings I'll get up and at 7 a.m., you know, there's only one stock up 40%. There's one up 30%. Like, but nothing. There's no volume. No, like this market's been hot, and I think a lot of you, if you're new, you've been spoiled, and that's why I'm worried a lot of you will pay your tuition longer because the market's been, especially the pre-market's been so good and so hot. We will go months with no 100% gainers, no 1,000%. Like this market, we are at, you know, I don't know if we're at the end of the bull market or if we're just now to the euphoria stage where we're going to squeeze for a little bit before it then dumps. But just get excited too. Even when most of the world thinks the stock market's going to crash and everything's going to zero, SPY's at all-time low, like that's when you get excited. Because when fear and chaos enters the market, that's when us as scalp traders do the best, right? We don't care which way it's going, just that there's volume. We have a system that we've tested and that we can sit and wait. They're just trading emotions. They're panic selling, right? Even that SPY correction that happened on Wednesday, I think that was just emotion. You know, it's going to end up printing again. You know, before you know it, January 28th, we'll be at new all-time highs again. So here comes NMVI again, up above VWAP. So I'm going to sit on this thing for a second and see if it can hold and move back up. But if you zoom out a little bit on a 5-minute, you know, notice how tight it's getting, you know. It's making higher lows and lower highs. Eventually it's going to break out or fail and come down, but it looks like it wants to go up. There's 60, 70. Am I going to do it again? Do I hit it again? I'm not going to take that trade this time. I want to let this whole candle close, because it might be a fake out. This could turn into a topping tail. We got 30 seconds left on this candle. All right, it hasn't got to 80 though. 75 cents is still resistance, right? Tap 70, back to 65. 62, 63, 59, right? Back up to 72 maybe, but like until it gets above 75, 76, 70, and then comes down and holds 75 as support. But again, when I'm trading a VWAP reclaim, I need this whole candle to print, and I got to wait for the next candle to tell me which way it's going. So this may turn into a giant topping tail right here and sell off right at the end of the candle. Now this candle is going to usually come down and tap VWAP before it squeezes back up. But I need confirmation of which way this is going to go, which this candle is going to tell me right now. But I'm also going to be waiting for that same entry, right, the 580 to $6. So, but this is a perfect example of why I let that whole first candle print. I'm not chasing it right away, and then I got to let this is going to be the candle that tells me which way it's going, right? So I wait for oh shit, they were about to shut my live off. Good thing I went to pick the camera up. But again, and shit, why did it keep telling me I didn't do it? So I wait for this one to, you know, the body to, but then I wait for it to move over, and this candle is going to either, you know, come down and hold VWAP and then squeeze up for them, or what it's doing here. Now it can move over right now and this turn into a bullish engulfing candle and squeeze right back up. But I always wait for confirmation on something that's downtrending and coming back up to test its new. I need the confirmation before I can take, you know. But again, that's why I also say if there's enough room between the breakout underneath for the VY, you don't need it to continue. You know it's at least going to come test this line again. The question is whether it goes high or not. So if I'm not sure which way the stock is going, I'll wait for confirmation. You know, I'm waiting for this to this next candle to print, right? The one that prints through it got to close, and the next candle is going to tell me which way it's going. And there's different ways people trade VWAP. This is just the way I do it. Successfully, I would say. Pretty successfully. It all depends on the way it's setting up to. There's more than just the line overview. It's the whole story's got to be match up, right? Is MYSZ a good buy? It might be. It's definitely being traded by retail at the moment. It's our leading gapper technically. So it's working on VWAP right now. That same play I just showed you, watch for it right here, right? It printed a tail on the candle before, but you're waiting for a body to print
EMS.
through VWAP. And you're gotta wait for that whole candle to close the next one, which means sometimes it'll squeeze straight up without you, and that's okay. You want a safe entry and a safe exit. You don't want to just gamble. You want confirmation. So if you wait and trade it the way I just showed you, it'll pay you more often than it will cost you. But if you just chase the first body that prints through VWAP every time, it may pay you, it may not. But it all has to depend on how it's setting up on a 5-minute. There's a lot of variables. But most importantly, that it's got a low float. It's got high relative volume. It's got a news catalyst typically we'd like, but sometimes the volume in itself could be the news catalyst. So there it is, the first candle to make a new high. That would have been my entry right there. I don't like this dollar level. I'm not going to try to get 30 to 50, but same 20 cents. As soon as it broke that candle, it proved that whole VWAP. That's your entry, so it would have been about 330, and you'd be looking for 350 right here. So There's 43, 40. No, it's it might tap 350 here. But my most comfortable 20 cents is 80 cents to the whole dollar. Because I feel like at that point, like it's our, this is the test right here. The 50 cent. And once it's got up to 80, I'm like, fuck, man, I'm rounding up to the next whole dollar. It's already gets, it's it. So there's 50 cents, right? So that's why the VWAP reclaim, and if you trade it the way I showed you and how it would have worked perfectly there, although I didn't take it. I don't need to always take every trade. So I'm looking at this 5-minute chart. Look, specifically,
Coming up at 7:30.
I've taken this trade already. I got paid on it already. I want it to prove to me now that it can go higher than this. I don't need to scalp in this level again. I even sat on my hands for the whole rest of this move. But this is the first 5-minute candle to make a new high that also aligned up with the VWAP reclaim, which is really, it's strong on two
Coming
charts
up
right
at
now.
9:15.
So I should have taken that trade. But it printed the body through VWAP. You waited till it moved over, and this is the candle that shows you which way it's going. So VWAP reclaim, I love it. It's literally pretty much all I trade in the pre-market. I'm learning the hard way is what I need to do. So MYRZ was a good buy in that setup in that minute. Whether or not it makes a new high and goes up 400%, we're going to find out right now. So it looks like a good ABCD on the 5-minute. Printed another tail up here so far. You don't want it to double top either. As the new community I'm looking in, that's his favorite play. He loves to short. So it didn't. It made a new high.
NYSC.
Sandy Zulu.
It's extend. No, that's a bull flag on the 5. It's printing a bull flag. That was a nice ABCD. Is it gonna go from 480 to 5 right here? I might be ready to push the button here. It's holding 450. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Pop right back up. It's chopping right here. So I can't chase it. I should have taken the VWAP reclaim, but there was also other patterns setting up right there with it, which is why it was the first 5-minute candle to make a new high.
GLDG, listed LTRS,
NYSC, Applied Therapeutics, named John.
I can't stop myself from hitting the button when it crosses 480 with volume like that. But I got a bad feel. I didn't get out at 5, so I got out at 490. Still a profitable trade though. But basically, especially when it holds, whenever I see 480 print, it's gonna go tap the next whole dollar. So
that's a miss.
right there, I could have got 97. It didn't quite hit the whole dollar there, but pretty fucking close. And it's gonna right there. Look, boom, 510. Every fucking time, I'm telling you, get good at reading the tape and the level 2. So I've just learned to not be greedy and just. Sometimes when it chops right there, I can't hold my shares long enough to let my play pay me, but. In trading like that, my winners and my losers, often my winners are bigger than my losers.
CCC board approves new $300 million share buyback authorization. Charlie, Sandy.
Charlie. I'm 4 for 4 today. I'm done. I should shut it down.
ECX, ECarX announcing $20 million
Missed it
share
on
buyback
287.
program. Echo Charlie X-Ray.
What ticker? I'm looking at a couple right now, but right this second, MYSZ, Michael Yankee Sam Zulu. I want to talk to Samson.
SVCO, Mycon Global, and Silvaco announced new partnerships. Sandy Victor Charlie Oscar.
XIN TAOP
we're gonna let it simmer down for a minute here. But it looks like it's breaking out on a 5 minute. This might be another big body candle that prints over 5 here. 478 is now support, I believe. 554 is resistance. LOL. Say goodbye to Hollywood. Say Hollywood.